You know, I got a PhD from the Art Institute of Chicago, from the most prestigious art school in the world.
Rappers aren't really the most righteous groups of people out there for many reasons. Even then, there are still some exceptionally great people in the industry. J. Cole best represents the heavenly virtue of humility. He recently abandoned his ego and did the unexpected by apologizing for releasing a diss track. As a veteran, he obviously understood the backlash he would face but still went on with it. He has faced constant critics that he has been crowned the bicycle guy. This mindset got him to cross paths with his direct opposite Kanye West, who embodies the sin of pride. By definition, pride means a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. Kanye West proves the saying pride comes before the fall. A single comment made him lose a long-running deal with Adidas.
Me and Adidas, it's like, I could literally say anti-Semitic shit and they can't drop me.
A few moments later.
Adidas has terminated its partnership with Kanye West.
Shortly after, he'd lose half of his net worth under 24 hours. His anger made him go on rants against most, and especially the Jewish community. He was involved in multiple conspiracies that would eventually cause the destruction of his marriage. Not known for marriage is Future, who represents the sin of lust.He busted into the scene in the early 2010s with music about drugs and women. As expected, such an artist would land himself in numerous predicaments involving women. One of his exes, Black China, got a tattoo of Future's name just for him to drop a follow-up tweet saying, "Single and focusing on myself." He once got in contact with an upcoming Instagram model, Monique Whitsett, with whom they exchanged messages for a while. Future then asked Monique to fly to LA for quick link-up, promising to pay the ticket. On arrival, she realized Future's true intent and denied him entrance. She further noted that Future had booked the hostel for only one night. When she asked for her ticket money, he replied with a simple "Nah, I'm good," birthing the iconic meme and even getting referenced by Drake. Despite having children with multiple ladies, he only pays $9,000 in child support, which shows you the power of good lawyers. Speaking of child custody, Lil Wayne doesn't pay a penny, but nonetheless he is respected by his baby mamas. Representing the virtue of accountability, he has ensured his children's needs are met. His opposite is none other than Tekashi, who has recently been exposed for his nonchalant behavior. As revealed by his former best friend, he has a daughter he's neglected since birth, even after the commercial success. Despite making a name for himself when it comes to flexing, he has contributed a total of $20,000 to his children's upbringing. Representing the virtue of loyalty is ASAP Rocky. Loyalty is described as devotion or sentiment of attachment to a particular object, in our case a partner. Celebrity couples have a tendency of breaking up, and with that being said, it's understandable that the majority rooted against them. Despite facing constant beefs from her past lovers, he's kept to himself, which has transformed him to a family man. NBA YoungBoy needs to take a page out of ASAP's book and narrow down to one woman. Representing fickleness is NBA YoungBoy, who in the span of 4 years has had 11 children. Keep in mind, he is only 23 years of age. He also has other troublesome actions like hiring ladies to beat up her past lover in front of their son.
This was just hurt that you even would let somebody do that to your son's mom. How would you feel if somebody did that to your mom? You know you're gonna go crazy.
Judging by his trail of crime, it's typical to see him in court every once in a while. Chance the Rapper represents the virtue of charity. Chance the Rapper contributed $1 million to help fight mental illness in Chicago. He also partnered up with Justin Bieber to give out $250,000 to those affected by hard times. As if that's not enough, he raised money to help curb gun violence, and on top of it, he funded a software specialized in empowering the youth. Representing the sin of gluttony is Lucky. His greed all began after he quit heavy drug intake. He quit Xanax and doubled down on lean. Lean is a heavily addictive drug obtained by mixing certain prescription drugs. Its side effects include heavy weight gain, constipation, and gut pains. By comparing his past photos to more current pics, it's certain that he has gone down the rabbit hole just like other heavy abusers. Playboy Carti represents the sin of sloth, described as reluctance to work or make an effort. In his decade-long career, he has only released a maximum of 2 albums. He ignores his fans' craving for more songs and instead doubles down on staying mysterious. A good example of this is when he left the Aiden Ross livestream after only 6 minutes to avoid questioning. Just like that, he had managed to con Aiden Ross of $2 million, which left the internet buzzing. A rapper suffering from a similar sin is Frank Ocean. Since his last release 7 years ago, he has never spoken about any follow-up project. The only ones known to get away with this are the top rappers with an established fan base. He better have a nice release on the way else he's toast. JID represents the virtues of discipline and consistency. On 2017, JID released his first studio album right after getting signed to J. Cole's Dreamville. Though it's a high-quality project, it hardly made any buzz. Same can be said for his follow-up album. Despite not seeing any major success, his output quality remained the same. Qualities that made him blow up. The rapper representing the virtue of tolerance is none other than Benny the Butcher. He perfectly showed this after the J. Cole feature where people were hinting that he got dissed in his own track.
J. Cole jumps on the record, says he's the best rapper alive. How do you feel about rappers getting on a track with you and then making a statement like that?
He didn't fall for this trap, but instead cleared the rumors. Representing the sin of rage is none other than Soulja Boy. He went off cursing J. Cole on IG Live for what he'd mistaken as a diss. Nicki Minaj had to join in to clarify everything, after which he apologized, but the damage was long done. Representing the virtue of serenity is Kendrick Lamar. In his long victorious run, not once has he been heard boasting in any manner. He hardly does interviews, and when he does, it's always with the select few. Cardi B stands for the sin of hypocrisy. By definition, it refers to the practice of claiming to have higher standards or more noble beliefs than the case. Cardi B had been keeping a fake perfect image for so long before the hate base dug up a skeleton. Turns out she has a past where she stole from unconscious men back in her stripping days.
I had to go, oh yeah, you wanna fuck me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I drug niggas up and I'll rob them.
Depicting the sin of jealousy is the queen of rap, Nicki Minaj. She was unreceptive of her fast-rising competition, Cardi B. This led to a series of back-and-forth insults from both fans and the artists. For the same reasons, she landed herself in a feud with Remima. Drake represents the sin of deception. For years, many viewed him as the top hitmaker who mastered the art of writing. A decade into his career, he crossed paths with Meek Mill, who gladly exposed him for using ghostwriters. Though he did win the beef, his public image had been slightly bruised. 2 years later, he links up with the late rapper Temptation for a session where he heard a catchy demo version of Look at Me.
Can't keep my dick in my pants.
A few weeks later, he releases his very own KMT.
I gave my bro an advance. Love is just not in my plans.
Unlike what most rappers would do, Temptation almost immediately exposed him on air.
Initially, he was supposed to contact one of my managers, so he doesn't do it. That same fucking week, bro, he dropped a fucking video of previewing that shit in Amsterdam.
Some speculate that it was what cost him his life.
Alive, he be alive again, damn.
Dude just dropped a diss on Drake and end his career. Bruh, nobody's gonna openly disrespect the fuck out of me and disrespect my craft when I'm 19 years old. That motherfucker, what is he, like 60? Like, you think I'm gonna let you take my shit and not say nothing? You can suck my